So how would you guys say your religion competes against your public personas or you as artists?
I would say it's built into my personality. So my mum, she's from Mandeville, Manchester, and my mum's side is very Christian church, and my dad's side is Kingston and very yardy, gully side. You know, walk and talk the talk, you know? Yeah, so I think that me as a character is kind of got both inside, but the faith and the good deeds is more my side, you know? Like obviously, when you're young, you make mistakes, you do certain things, but you get wise. Yeah, so I feel like I've had a lot of wise upbringing.
Yeah.
From that side. Yeah.
What would you say, Imrhan?
I think, comparison-wise, like before, like my lifestyle was not matching. So in terms of competing, I didn't probably look Christian to anybody, to be fair. And I think that's ignorance in it, because I didn't understand like the faith, I didn't understand Christ, I didn't understand God. I didn't understand it. I was just kind of just doing it because my family done it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have my own relationship with God, you know what I mean? And that was where the standpoint was. And people can definitely see it. One thing I didn't let go of though was like prayer, do you know what I mean? And I stayed there. Like that was my own personal thing. But outside, like, you wouldn't think I was Christian. Like I was active. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think for me, like, it was for example, between the transition where I came out of like secular music going into gospel, in this gap here is where I found it like the hardest, because I've got this mirror in my face called the Bible, and I'm looking at myself and looking at this, and I'm like, if Jesus is my example, like, I don't look like this man.
Yeah, it's not matching
I have
up.
nothing to, what? This man is far, and I'm like, so where does he get active? Like, where does he beat people up? Does he not punch nobody for how they're talking to him? And then nothing like that. Like, what, you're on the cross, so you're just ready to just... And I'm thinking, well, how do you respond to that? Because obviously, again, being from like, obviously I'm from Aston, in Birmingham, and being from the area, you have like a subliminal thought of, if anyone was to ever try, then like you kind of always ready in a sense. But I think where I am now, I don't even really think about that stuff.
I love that.
And it's weird, and I wish I could explain it in like a book or something, but boy, it's weird. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that. It's like, it's just...
Yeah, it's like you've just kind of just let go of certain things, you know? Because like, I feel like I'm naturally someone like that in terms of, you know, just like I feel like, yeah, you know, when you walk in somewhere and someone else is thinking, wow, we need a thing. What can I bring my thing, Dub? What can we? And you're like, no, man. And then you just kind of just believe. You know what I mean? And you go there,
you're gonna be
you can
all
get
right.
in the dark corner, you see them, and then you're like, yes, man, as long, you know, you just, you're blessed.
You're easy,
And then
you're
somehow,
fam.
like, your energy is protected because you're just walking like this.
Yeah.
Some people walk with some dark, I don't know, it's just, you can just see.
Feel it.
Ready for
You can
war.
feel it.
Yeah,
They can
always
talk
there.
nice, but it just looks, you know what I'm saying?
Dark in it, spiritual.
They're looking for it though as well.
Good energy is good energy.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's a bit of a power trip, and that's when the dark side of ego comes in. And unfortunately, I feel like growing up in the ends and on the road, it's the same as in Brum or in London, like any hood, where the things we learn are backwards, like the way to move. Like you think that, if, you know, letting man know what I'm on or doing certain things that shows that I'm the boss or I'm the big man, but really and truly, when you get older, you realise certain people don't even deserve your reaction. You don't even really deserve to
bigger
even
man
make...
walks away.
Yeah, to make you think that you're even niggling at me, but we grow up in the ends with a mad ego, like we have to defend it all the time. And I remember when I was younger, like, we always used to, me and my girls used to roll in batches, but you know, like, you just be looking for a fight, looking for an issue.
When you're a teenager,
it's the excitement, you just want to, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but on a deeper level, I do think a lot of men have, like, a darker energy. You're right. And I think as well touch base on what you were saying, like you feel like you're at peace now or you don't need to get into certain things.
Yeah, it's not
I agree with that. I don't think I'm fully healed in that sense where I don't look for no problem, but I'm in more of a space where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna react or give people my energy in that way. Or like when I go certain places, I don't try to think of a negative outcome because I know I attract what I think about. If I'm thinking I'm gonna fight and be in a madness, that's what it's gonna be. But when I stand firm and know that I'm loved, I'm respected, I'm in a safe space, you kind of step differently.
100%.
You can smile.
Yeah, man.
Get rid of that stern face, smile.
Yeah.
Just,
But I think
people don't even like it when you smile.
But I think it's difficult at the same time, though. I think it's difficult because it's like, because the experience that you had, Imran, I feel like I had that experience. So I grew up in Kilburn, then I moved out, but I feel like I had a faith journey. My faith started when I was in secondary school. So that's like, what, 15 years ago? I'm integrated in my faith in a different way. And I had to navigate being around a level of badness whilst being a person of faith. And I think as well, I think that I wrote a poem a long time ago when I was in uni, and basically one of the lines in there was like, how does it feel when you've been in war, you're no longer in war, but you're still holding your shield? And the whole premise of that was like obviously, I'm gonna say this with like, when I was living in Kilburn and I would get in fights and I would just be a hothead in that sort of way, when I look back, I'm like, it makes sense. In actual fact, I'll say my school life was easier because of it. If I just wanted to be honest, because of what we were all like, me being on that made life easier for me. But then when you're 10 years later, if you're still walking with that shield, you're not even in the same context. You're just living off memories, innit? So I think that's like the reality of it is like our environments that we came up in. If you were perhaps more meek, not necessarily humble, but more meek, you would genuinely have a harder time, factually. And I think that's sometimes why we carry it, because it served a purpose for us when we were younger.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, like survival mode.
Survival mode, you know, that sort of way.
But you can still survive just being blessed.
Yeah.
But then there are certain things, you know, like certain things, just because when you're blessed, but then certain man come with certain trainers, the school uniforms got the hole on the arm. And then they're getting dissed in school. And even though the character's blessed, they're coming from a, so then kids pick up on it. They're not really caring whether you're cool or not. They're just thinking, look at him, you know what I mean? So I guess you're right, you gotta be stiffen up a bit.
It is, and I think as well, like an ego one, I feel like, because I look at your journey and I think that's cold, you understand? My difficulty was being, because obviously the culture is the thing where I grew up on rap, grew up on hip hop, grew up on grime, grew up on all these things. So when I found faith, I didn't discard those things. So I found faith and I thought, okay, this is my journey. It was quite difficult navigating that through secondary school, then uni, then everything. It was probably the biggest test for me, because I'll be in studio, man, them are bagging up and do whatever like that. But I loved music so much, so I thought, I'm not gonna, this is my calling. So I have to navigate being with man that are on this, even though I'm not on it. That was hard. I think that for me was the biggest test.
I feel like for me, the whole, obviously coming from South again, like it's installed in me, like even from young, if someone hits you, you hit them back. Do you know what I mean? And that's in any capacity. So, like even when D-Double was talking about, oh yeah, when you're in the room and you feel like you're in a space where you just know that you're blessed, you can smile a little bit. I rarely ever do, because I've always got my guard up, and not just physically, spiritually as well. Because even circling back to what we was talking about before, when you're engaging with supporters and stuff like that, you can't hug everyone, you know?
Yeah,
you don't know what
exactly.
burdens or what spirit or what energy people is carrying. So for me, I just always like, I'm in the room for a bit with a screw face for maybe about 20 minutes or half an hour. And then when I recognize everything that's happening, I know when to let my guard down. But I don't like using the word persona, because then it feels like I put it on. I don't put it on. It's just the way that I am. In the least ignorant, arrogant way possible. This is just the way that I'm wired. Do you get what I mean? Like I'm just a bit until I'm not. So that combating with my faith and everything like that, and the whole online presence and just existing as an artist and like battling that with my faith. Like even now, I don't swear in my music no more. I've made an effort, like a conscious effort from like a couple years ago. I said to myself, like anything that I've got that's got a swear word in it was made maybe more than 3 years ago. I actually, like even with the plugged in is like, we're on violence. If you listen to me, not one swear word came out my mouth. You don't need to swear to get your point across. And you don't have to always be aggressive to get your point across either. So I feel like that's just changed me in the way that I see things in terms of like, don't get me wrong, I might let out a swear word like every now and again, just in my everyday life, but I made a conscious decision that when I'm in the studio, if I feel like I want to swear, I say something completely different because you just don't know whose ears the music is going to fall upon. And if I want to use my superpower for good and not evil, it's got to be clean. It's got to be clean. So, yeah, so then even that, and then just in contrast with how I am, I just try to be as meek as I possibly can on a day-to-day basis because I'm still me. I'm still tuggish, I'm still girly on one side, tuggish on one side, and I'm still just Cristale through and through. But it's just, I think a lot of it's about what your intentions are and making sure that your intentions are always clear and clean when you do anything that millions of people can be watching you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And when you're an artist, you have that responsibility because even if you're not filming yourself and you post it online, someone can film you and post it online.
Yeah.
And whatever you're doing in that moment where someone's filming you to post it online, you gotta make sure that it's clean cut because millions of people can see it. And then that's just the perspective and the viewpoint and the opinion of you, period.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pure, that's mad pure, that's mad pure.